Sight for a date.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to your Pennsylvania Dutch Minute. I have another viewer question. It's a good question. I bet you it's a question that actually some of you have thought about too, or maybe have experiences with this. So I was emailed. I want to read it exactly. The person says, "I have been wanting to try out my Pennsylvania Dutch with local Amish, but my husband and I are afraid they might be annoyed with us if we do. What is your opinion on this? Do you think the Amish would be offended if we tried speaking with them in Pennsylvania Dutch?" It's a great question for those of us that live in and around Amish and Mennonite communities, especially those of us who maybe are trying to learn Pennsylvania Dutch or we are learning Pennsylvania Dutch and we want to practice. Of course, they're our closest connection to, we know, you run into one of them and you know that they can speak and understand Pennsylvania Dutch. So the question goes, should I try? I can speak purely from my experience. Where I live here in north central Pennsylvania, we do have quite a lot of Amish, specifically over in the Penns Valley and Brush Valleys areas of Center County, and Sugar Valley in southern Clinton County. And what I've found is that when I go to an Amish store or a greenhouse or one of their businesses, I will usually go right into Pennsylvania Dutch. Now I'm a little bold, maybe bolder than some other people, and what's been my experience is that sometimes the Amish that are there will usually look a little bit like, who's this guy? Because it's not common to find non-Amish Pennsylvania Dutch speakers here where I currently live. So the experience for them is always, they're like, a lot of times they'll ask, where are you from? Or, something along those lines. And sometimes the conversation will continue in Pennsylvania Dutch, and they will flip right into Pennsylvania Dutch. But I've also run into Amish that I'll speak in Pennsylvania Dutch to them, and they'll stick by English. And I'm a little stubborn. I'll usually stay in Pennsylvania Dutch, and then they'll stay in English, and we have conversations like that. But I have had conversations with Amish that will go into Pennsylvania Dutch and stay in Pennsylvania Dutch with me. I think it's really one of those things where you just have, it all depends on who you're talking to. I personally don't see any issue or see it as being rude if you would walk into an Amish store or an Amish business and try and speak Pennsylvania Dutch with them. I can't guarantee they're going to engage with you in Pennsylvania Dutch, but I would imagine that more chances than not, they probably will. Now, for those of you watching these videos who live in the Midwest, like Indiana and Wisconsin, and where there's a large, where there are large Ohio, where there are large Amish populations, I can't speak for the Amish of the Midwest. I can only speak from my experiences with Amish here in Pennsylvania and Old Order Mennonites who speak the language. But personally, I have you'll know right away if they are willing to engage or not. And I think for the most part, you're going to find that they will be. We just treat them like normal people. And if they switch to English or they don't engage with Pennsylvania Dutch, then kind of gauge the situation and decide for yourself, should I keep trying in Pennsylvania or should I just switch into English? I think as long as you are polite and a smile goes a long way. So I would suggest try it, Like I said, you might run into some Amish that will be excited and willing to talk to you in Pennsylvania Dutch, and then you might run into some that don't, and aren't that way. But you'll never know unless you try. So that's my advice. I don't think it would be seen as rude or that you would be encroaching upon them. Now, if they're in the middle of something, I wouldn't just use common human conversational skills. Although teaching teenagers in high school, I'm learning that there are a lot of Americans that don't have that skill set anymore. But hopefully if you're watching this video, you're someone that does have that skill set. You'll know when to end a conversation or when to engage. But my suggestion, try it. Try it. And that goes for anybody out there. You run into an Amish or Mennonite, try. Say Pennsylvania Dutch first. Say Gute Dog or Wie bist. I think starting a conversation like that would be fine. And see where it takes you. You never know. You never know. But you'll never find out if you don't at least try. And that goes with any language when you're learning. You got to speak it to learn it, and you got to speak it to feel comfortable with it. So my advice, try it. Try it. And if you don't live anywhere near Amish or Mennonites, then if you're on those Facebook groups, don't be afraid to try and type out your Pennsylvania Dutch and practice with the people there. I guarantee that the people that are in those groups will be very welcoming and wanting to help you improve and learn our language. So I hope that answered the question. Try it. See how far you get. Okay, till next time, keep practicing that Pennsylvania Dutch. If you have an idea for a question, you got to email me, and also subscribe to the channel and tell your friends and share the Pennsylvania Dutch love. Until next time, Max gut!
Max gut.